Hope everyone is having an amazing Saturday so far. I wanted to hop on here and tell you why I chose Costa Rica to have a baby. Why am I giving birth in Costa Rica? So I'm going to dive into my birth plan, and I want to inspire you. The plan is to inspire you to choose you. My mom is going to hop on here too in a second, but I just wanted to show my face, say hello, and kind of tell you about my experience here in Costa Rica, why I'm having my baby in Costa Rica, how I'm having a baby in Costa Rica, and things like that. So and we'll probably answer some questions too before we get off. Here is mommy. Thank you. Hey mommy, you here? Hi mom.
Hey, girl. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I can hear you great. How you feeling?
I'm good. I got my jacket on and you got on your summer dress.
When I tell you it was so miserably hot today, it was so hot. Like, it's from 6 a.m. though. I'm like, Phoenix, I don't know what we gonna do. Like, it was
And
so
it's
hot.
so cold here.
So maybe you can give me a little bit of the cold, and I'll give you a little bit of the heat, and we can kind of balance out.
That'll be great.
So thank you for hopping on here. So I was introducing myself to everyone and talking about the topic for tonight. And I just love sharing space with you. And you were there for my first birth and really held a space for me then and now. So tonight I'm just going to share a little bit about why I'm birthing in Costa Rica, and then we'll talk about what we talk about. But it's interesting because you and I were just texting, and I sent you that screenshot of the girl who I don't even know. So we're talking about birthing tonight, and right before I hopped on this live, I had a message from someone that doesn't follow me. I don't follow them, and they just decided to send me a message saying that's weird. Like, that's weird that you're birthing in Costa Rica. And like, that's a great leeway into tonight's conversation, because there are so many people that may not agree with choices that you make, right? Like, they may not agree with what you believe in. They may not believe in your way of doing things. Yes, baby, 1 second.
Phoenix always steals the show.
Sorry. So they might not agree with you all the time. And that's okay. It's okay if they don't agree with you. But it's just interesting how people feel so justified to like share their personal opinion on your life. And I just want to encourage you not to internalize that. If someone has an opinion on the way you're doing something, that's okay. Like, one, they don't have to share that with you, but two, you do not have to internalize that. What was your take on that though? Like, this random person
I
just speaking on
it just made me think about how some people just don't know,
right.
and they're so westernized and not open. So, having a baby in the US at the hospital, what we've been, that indoctrination that has happened for decades. I just felt that was my first take on it. Like, poor baby, you don't even know.
The
But
Western mentality.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
So
everybody doesn't. Everybody's not, even for myself, it was an adjustment for me because I had all of you guys in the hospital. And at that particular time, didn't even think of a different option.
yeah.
That's what was presented and that's what I went with.
And even with that experience, Mama, you still never projected that onto me. Like, you had all of us in the hospital, but when I was like, Mom, I'm having a natural birth, you afterwards you told me, but you never projected any, you never said that's weird. You never said to me, girl, like, you need to consider a plan B. And I appreciate that, Mom, because you never gave me a plan B. You supported my plan A from the jump. And that's just kind of what we went with. And I appreciate that, because leading into this pregnancy, this has been very challenging. It's been a very challenging pregnancy. And like you and Papa say all the time, like, we ain't never seen you this down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you told me the other day that this is the lowest, not the other day, but the other week, that this is the lowest you ever seen me. And you never seen me like this sad since Oma passed away.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look at that for me. I felt so guilty for my baby. Like for my mother to tell me, I never seen you so down and sad and depressed since your grandmother passed away. While I'm pregnant, it's like, dang, what is my baby feeling? Like my mother to observe that, like, what is my child feeling? So leading into this pregnancy, it's been like really hard, and it's for a lot of reasons that I won't share. But the biggest thing has been support. It's been emotional support, and it's been just being understood, right? I don't know if anybody has ever been in a situation where you feel like you're giving everything that you can give, but it's still not good enough. Or you're in a situation where you feel like you're being the best mother that you can possibly be, but then there's voices saying you're a terrible mother. You're going to raise children that are terrorists. Just really, really negative words on parenting and motherhood while you're pregnant. So I don't know if anyone has had that experience. It's something that I recently experienced, but it's been okay, because I've been able to use, that stress, and it's all a result of just communication. But at the end of the day, it's just really hard to be in an environment where you feel like you just riding that bike, and you ain't going nowhere. So you tired, you sweating, and you still ain't got nowhere. And then you looking around and people are like, your bike is stupid, like you ain't did nothing, just speaking very down on you. And it's like, well, god dang, so it's exhausting. And so like this is when I hit rock bottom. And mama, you saw me cry a lot.
I do.
And this is probably the most that I've cried in my entire life. And having these breakdowns and crying myself to sleep and just going through it, and not knowing who to call upon, because circumstances were a little bit different. So it's like you want to honor your circumstances, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm depleted, I'm broken, I'm hurting. So and like I even speak on this and then I'll just leave it, like even calling in additional support, but then the additional support that you call in says something to you like, you're gonna have a miscarriage and you're gonna probably have a premature birth like me. And like being in such a vulnerable space, receiving something like that, it's easy to internalize. And then those comments like that can leave you literally feeling less than, like questioning yourself. And I'm being honest, I found myself internalizing everything and questioning everything that I ever knew. And my mama and I birthed Phoenix naturally. Like it was me, my mama, my sister, the midwife, and Papa, and my Papa Maurice. And like we did it. So to be in another pregnancy where it's like, oh, I did this before, but in a pregnancy feeling the total opposite, was like, the hell? Like what's going on here?
Yeah.
And that leads me to the conversation for tonight with my mom, because I had to say, you know what? I need to call in community. I need to call in support. I need to call in people that understand the womb. They support ancestors, like they support the traditional way of birthing, because birthing is natural. It's not a medical event. Birthing is not a medical event. It is a natural event, and it should be treated as such. But when you co-create with, people in general that know nothing about natural birthing, or all they've ever seen is Western birthing, it could come up that, Westernization of birthing can present itself to you. So having my mother always like keeps me grounded. But I will say this, I'll be so honest. The last couple of months have been the most stressful time of my life. My mother is my witness. My stepfather is my witness. My sister, like, nope, everybody was so concerned. And you can speak on that a little bit, Mom, because you always look at me as so strong. So I don't even know if you noticed it from the jump, Or did you just wait for me to ask for support? Like, were you kind of just like, oh, something ain't right with her? Or were you waiting for me to say, Mom, I need help?
Well, there were a couple of times where I did ask you, and you would tell me that you were fine. But everything in your demeanor said otherwise. And one thing, for me personally, I support, that I support any decision that you make. I would never say, don't do this, don't do that. That's just not in my nature because I want to support your decisions. And so, yes, I saw it. Yes, I asked questions. No, you didn't tell me what was really going on in the beginning. It wasn't until we were in a space, and timing is essential, right? Because I don't ever want to be pushy, and I think a lot of times people do that. Like they get in your face, what's wrong with you? Tell me what's going on, da, da, da. And so I didn't want to come across that way. And that's really not who I am. So no, it wasn't until, you opened up and was like, and then of course the crying, I like you said, I'd never seen you cry as much as I'd seen you cry, prior, like a month ago.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was definitely hard to watch, because as a mom, right, you want to protect your child. You want to like, who did it? I'm gonna go get them. You know what I mean? What happened? But still respecting you as an adult and the decisions, that you made and are making now. And I'm super proud of you for putting yourself first and doing what feels right to you, right? Because having a baby, and this is for any woman or male, having a baby is such a memorable moment, right? And I would not, me personally, like I would not want my memory to be a regret. I wish I would have done it this way. I wish I would have did it this way. Like, no, I wouldn't want that for anyone. So, we don't want to make decisions now that we're going to regret later. It's your
Yeah.
body. It's your decision. And if people love and respect you, they will be there for you regardless of what they may think, right? It's all about being open-minded. And I think that's the problem in our society, with a lot of people are closed-minded or half woke, because we see a lot of that, right? They so woke, but then it's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
You ain't woke for real. You got one eye open,
Yeah.
so and it's not the third eye, but yeah, people just don't understand. And I'm so grateful that, I'm so grateful that we are in a space, because I'm not even going to say you, because you introduced me to a different way of birthing, right? And so I'm so grateful that we're in a space where we're normalizing natural birth.
Yeah.
We're normalizing a woman having choices, right? We're normalizing having a community.
Yeah.
Nobody should be doing it by themselves. No woman could ever feel alone during her pregnancy or during the birth unless that's what she wants, right?
Yes.
And that's the thing. What do you want? If you think about the hospitals, they're picking, they're probing, they're jabbing, they're measuring, they're doing this, they're using the ultrasound, like they're doing all these things that are really more harmful than they are helpful. But they'll like convince us that they need to do this because they need to see how far you're dilated, and
Yeah.
they need to do, you know what I'm saying, do all these things. So, and I know that wasn't the original question, but yeah.
No, that's great. Like, yes, y'all drop some gems because mama just yes, we're totally normalizing the natural way, which leads into how I began to manifest community. Because yes, you got me, and you always, always have had me, and even the support just across the board has been. You and Phoenix have been my lifeline. If I can just be completely honest, like having you and having Phoenix has been my resuscitator, like just being honest. And so I have y'all support, but I needed to also usher in community of like-minded women. So I started to literally, this is leading into why I'm birthing in Costa Rica. So I started to pray, like, please, 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 please bring me women, community support. Like, I began to be so intentional about what I wanted, what I needed, even down to postnatal care, like down to meal prep. Like, I was telling my mother, like, I want this, 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 and this. And she was like, okay. But the initial intent was to have it locally in Atlanta, in Georgia. And all the resources that were coming my way were in Costa Rica. Like, we had got this amazing package from this one lady, a 50-day package. And it included your prenatal and postnatal. It included washing your sheets, like everything, taking care of if you got big children currently. It included your house, it included your food, it included everything. And this package was in Costa Rica. I'm like, ooh, I don't know, like, we gotta find something local. So I like asked my midwife, who's local in Georgia, about resources. She sent me two women. They're both like, oh, we can't take new mamas. I'm like, okay. So I reached out to another mother. She done sent me a prenatal doctor in Costa Rica. I'm like, girl, you live in Georgia. I live in Georgia. Like, why are you sending me Costa Rica? She was like, he just looks great. So every single resource that I was receiving that aligned was in Costa Rica, but I had no intentions on going back to Costa Rica, especially not to give birth, because my sister, you know, we have family and family wants to be involved and all that. But then I realized maybe I should go to Costa Rica. Like, everything that I'm looking for is there. And we already are rooted there. Like, it's already home for us. So it's like, maybe I should go. And I was so nervous to say anything to anybody because I just knew, like, y'all was going to be like, heck no. I just knew. And even my sister was like, what about me? Like, I want to be there and I might not be able to get off. And everybody's response was like, but what about me? And everybody's response that said, what about me, made me look at me and say, but what about me?
That's right.
What about me and baby? Like, what about us? Because I keep doing everything for everybody else, but what about us? So I just went into prayer and I was intentional. We read the book Higher in the Heavens, where you usher in your angels and you tell them exactly what you need. And literally, I made the decision, and you don't know this part, Mama. I was still so nervous to leave that I didn't book my flight until 24 hours prior. Like, I had packed, I was packing, I went to the store, but I 24 hours prior, no, 48 hours prior, I hadn't even booked my flight yet. I was like, I'm not going. I'm not going. Even the night before, my flight was booked, and I was sitting on the couch like, should I check in or should I not check in? Like, I literally was like, Mom, you saw me. You were like, what are you doing? Like, nothing. I'm just here. But what the truth is, Mom,
That's why it took you so long to pack.
It took me forever because I wasn't going. I was not going. And I honestly was like nervous. I'm like, this is like deja vu, full circle. But now it's like, it was just a lot for me to process. But the truth is out. Like, I literally was so hesitant to check in for that flight. And I was just sitting there like, okay. And then going to the airport, we were a little bit running late. But when we got to the airport, nobody was in line. There was no reason for me to miss a flight. Like, nobody was in security. Like, I was like, okay, we got it. But we began to usher in community, and every single road led me back to Costa Rica. So here in Costa Rica, I have an amazing holistic prenatal doctor whose office is in the middle of the jungle in a dome, in a clay house with crystals. I also have a community of women that support women. And my mother got to virtually meet some of these people, but they literally are taking turns. Who's gonna take her some food today? Who's gonna take care of Phoenix today? Who got her like, literally everybody is lining up like the army, like, who is gonna take care of this mama? And the thing is, it's free. These women are not doing it. So the package I told y'all about, that was a $5,000 package. I got the same package and more
Yeah.
for free. My prenatal care, like everything is free. And so I also am birthing here because the environment really stimulates the fetal growth. I don't know if y'all know this, but being in the sun and like being near the ocean and being one with nature and even the foods that you choose to consume, it has a lot to do with the development of the baby. And honestly, like the weather in, the States, just, I don't go outside. I sit inside all day long. And this pregnancy, I have done nothing like active. And now, and so visualizing Costa Rica to birth, I was also visualizing, all right, me and baby can go swimming. Me and baby might be able to interact with dolphins. Like, me and baby can do all this stuff that I really don't have access to in the States. But the icing on the cake is all the support here. Here, natural birth is normalized. The conversation about any other way is an option, but the first conversation is a normal natural birth. And I go to meetings, right, with mothers. It's kind of like AA or like NA, where we go and we talk about mama stuff, but everything is anonymous and you get support. And like, it's just amazing. We pray together, we pray for the babies. And the icing on the cake is everyone shows up. It's not oh, your mama got you, or oh, your sister got you. It's like the whole community is like, mama, what you got? Sister, what you got? All right, I got this part, I got this part, I got this part, so that everyone is equally supported. So I ultimately chose to go to a place to birth where I am treated as an equal and I'm respected. I'm respected and my birth choice is honored. I do not want to have to question. I don't want to have to explain. Like I said, when I first hopped on here, some girl just hopped into my DMs like, oh, that's weird. Like, that's the type of energy that is not welcome. Like, block immediately. That's not welcome. Here, a woman in one of the circles would never say that. And like, that's just the type of energy that I want to be around. So I chose to birth in Costa Rica because it is an environment that 100% supports mothers and supports the natural way of birthing. And I and my mother, we choose to normalize birthing the ancestral way. We choose to bring balance into the journey of womanhood. Because the truth is, like, this is a very, very, very powerful time for a woman, and it's amazing that during like such an extremely beautiful time that women actually have difficulties, right? Like emotional difficulties. Like, I'm just so mind blown that during such a precious time, um during such a special time, like, a woman can like go through something that's really hard and challenging. So Costa Rica is where we're birthing. There is no problem with me birthing here, even with me coming so late in pregnancy. I was able to get an appointment within a week of being here. And those appointments automatically put me into the system. And if I do need any type of medical care, I do have a doctor on call. So I'm choosing to do a free birth. My mother is going to cut my umbilical cord. Phoenix is going to also be there to help me catch her sister. And that's what it looks like right now. And I know that this birth is going to be painless and the contractions are going to be very friendly. And baby is just gonna come. She's gonna make her way. She's gonna see her Omi. She's gonna see her sister, and like whoever else can make it will be present. But yeah. And so I ride a bike every day. I was asking my baby the other day, like, all right, mommy is really trying to do the best that she can do. What else should I do to prepare for you? And it dropped in my spirit to start running, but I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. But yeah, so community. So thankfully, I've been able to just submerge myself in my community, which leads me to my mother and I, what we do. My mother has been my support system, and we've been able to curate an environment where we're also a support system on the level of business, for others' mindset, and also supporting your dreams and your goals. Because the truth is, I don't want nobody to feel like, oh, my dream is too big, or oh, this is too wild of a story, or oh, I told my partner what I wanted and they're like, oh, you're not good enough. Like, that's not welcomed in our
That's
environment.
right.
So my mother has a lot of lived experience, a lot of clinical experience, a lot of letters behind her name. Like, she just truly checks every single box. And now she is converting that into holding space for other people outside of me, outside of her daughter. She's holding space for you and whoever else you want to bring and recommend. But not just on like a emotional level, but also business. Because if you can work through the emotional part, you can build a business, right, Ma? I'll let you speak on
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so true because a lot of times it's not that we don't have the gifts. We're afraid to use them. There's just so many that, just like you explained, with the pregnancy, that can be translated into a lot of different areas of our life, right? People aren't supportive, things, I speak a lot about things that happen during childhood, never getting, you'd be so surprised, like not getting encouragement, not being supported, like growing up makes you feel like you can't do it,
mm-hmm.
so that's why those dreams look so big, because we may not have gotten that level of encouragement as a child. Those blocks are not always from some trauma. Sometimes those blocks are just the things that we didn't get from the people that were supposed to take
Mm-hmm.
care of us, right? They weren't there. They couldn't support us in a way. And I get it. Like, a lot of parents had to work and do different things, So there's a lot of components that lead into people not getting what they need growing up. However, regardless of how you got here, I'm here to help you take it to the next level. I'm here to help you break through those barriers. I'm here to eliminate that negative self-talk, that self-defeating stuff. And like I always say, right, if you wouldn't allow someone else to talk to you that way, then don't talk to yourself that way, right? Because it all starts with us. So I'm here to empower, encourage, and help women get to the next level, whether it's in business, whether it's, mental barriers, whether it's childhood experiences, like whatever that is, fortunately and unfortunately, right? However you want to look at it. Like I've been through that. I've seen those things. A lot of I struggled with addiction and different things. So yes, I have letters behind my name, but I also have a lot of lived experience, which I feel qualifies me more in certain rooms, right, than those letters. Because if we can identify with each other
Yes.
spiritually, and there's a connection spiritually through, whatever the situation may be, like that is about community, right? Community is us being able to identify with each other, speak on what's going on, and support one another. You got mama groups, you got NA, you got AA, you got all these different support groups, but it's power in the
Come
group.
on.
It's power in the group. It's not one person. We're here. We're supposed to be in community with each
Yeah.
other. That's was by design, and because of things that have happened throughout history, those things have been broken up. And so now people are isolated and, don't want to talk about certain things because that was the thing. Don't say nothing, right? What happens here stays here. Don't tell them people your business, like all those things. But when
Yeah.
we get it out of here and put it into the universe, it loses its power. It's just like writing, journaling, it loses its power. It's when it gets stuck up here, right? 17 seconds and it got traction. After 17 seconds, we got movement, and then you're on the hamster wheel. So, yeah, that's what I'm here for,
Yeah.
to break free and live your best life. And as I always say, your best life is the life that you want to live, not about nobody else's. Whatever looks the best to you, that's your
Yeah.
best life. And we are all entitled to have that.
I love that. And heavy emphasis on like whatever that looks like to you.
Yeah.
Whatever your best life looks like to you, you are entitled to that. And your best life might be a life that you ain't never seen nobody do before. It could be a totally new way of living. And that's okay, because you're the one to bring that into fruition. So just because your best life don't look like what nobody else has ever done, and yeah, so what? Like my mama said, don't let that thing sit up there for 17 seconds. Let that go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Live your best life.
Exactly. And we don't have to apologize for that,
No.
right? Because it goes the other way too, right? Fear of success, fear of making it, fear of what people are going to think, and I'll share this story really, really quick. When I was when I first started recovery, and I was, all about bettering myself and having a better life for me and for you all. And like, I was concerned about what the people that I used to hang out with, what they were going to think. They're going to think I'm trying to be better than them and all the things, right? But I was broken, and I only knew those people, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't surrounded around healthy people. So I was really concerned about what they were going to think, right? And over time, like, yeah, I am better, I do think I'm better, not than them individually, but better than my addiction, better than the life that I had been living, right? So yeah, it was okay for them to think that I wanted to be something better, but my low self-esteem and low self-worth, like, I was still working on those things, and those things take time.
Yeah.
So it's okay to want better. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't be ashamed of that. And I feel like there's like no middle ground, right? You either have these people that are showing off with all their extravagant things and all this and that and the cars and the Lambos, and you know what I'm saying? Or you have people that are struggling. Like, there's no middle. There's no, you know what I mean? And it's about getting to that and let that be your launching pad, and then catapult on to the next, the next thing. Just get on that diving board and jump.
Yes. Yes, I love that. And I didn't realize, like, I mean, you shared that with me before, like still feeling a little bit insecure. Even though you made some different decisions, you were still like, oh, but what them people gonna think, even though you had made like such a tremendous decision that could ultimately influence them, to do something different. Yet you're like, oh, what they gonna think about me, instead of thinking, oh, I can inspire them, right? Like, I can use my story to be an inspiration. I can use my vulnerabilities to be an inspiration. So I love that too, because you help women or everyone like transform their insecurities into superpowers. Right. So what you just shared was like, you at first were using your insecurities to be more insecure, but now you use your insecurities to turn into your superpower.
Right.
And I just love that, because everything is transferable. It doesn't have to be like low vibrational and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And like power in the community, absolutely. Like you mentioned that earlier as well. And so much power in the community. Even our community, right? I've been able to
what the hell was that?
No. But I don't know, but come on. I don't know.
You always have a dog, a cat, a bug. I don't care what it is.
Who knows? But it's okay. They welcome. They not. Sorry. Come on now. It's okay. It's fine. So community, like the community that we've been able to usher in, even my auntie Sarah, she's on here. Community also ushered in additional support for me, for my mother. Like, my mother needs support to support another mother too. So like, community is broad.
Yes.
So it's big. I need support. My mama's supporting me. My mama needs support to support me, and it just goes on and on and on. So
yeah, if you think about it, right, like the elders, if you think about our ancestors, like the elders were there, and like there were generations of women and family members within a tribe, right? It didn't stop with Gen X, Gen Z, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was included. Everybody. Somebody said, is that a bird?
No, it's a bird. I'm not able to identify, but it's okay.
So yeah, everybody needs support, and you're absolutely right. You know, it doesn't stop with me, you know. I need support too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we curated our community, because first it was all about, the community was all about business, business, business. But when we got into the meat and potatoes of the community, it was like therapy. Like it became a space
Mhm.
where people are like releasing and healing. And even for me, nobody knew what I was going through for literally 5 months. Like nobody knew what I went through. And so the community was even healing for me, because it was like, it was just amazing. So we're hosting a 4-day workshop the first week in February. And it's 4 days, but it's really intense, and we are going to be able to like tap in. It's limited spaces because we're going to be able to like support you one-on-one. One of the things that we did not do in the past is like give everyone a one-on-one opportunity, because I realize some people may not want to share.
Mhm.
So, and it's not a one shoe fits all. You might not want to do a course, you might have a digital product, you might have a physical product. So it's a 4-day course where we're covering how to make money online, but how to like let go of that mind trash, like
Mhm.
let that stuff go and align with your higher self. Come here. What is it? Come here.
That book.
Align with your higher self, right? And then transform that confidence into developing a plan on how you're gonna get money and how you're gonna relocate. But first, you got to work with this. So come on,
Absolutely.
come. So that's what we're going to be doing February the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So it's a lot of value in this, and it's going to definitely take, it's going to be good. It's going to be good, but you got to come open and ready to work.
Mhm.
And then beyond that, we have a community where we are going to begin meeting monthly, co-working calls, right? What y'all working on this week? Come on, let's get on a co-working call. You got some new offers? Let's talk about it. What does it look like?
Mhm.
My mother, will be sharing her gift consistently, coaching you through any mental blocks. And then of course there's Q&A anytime you have questions or you want us to revisit something. So we do have a monthly meetup, a monthly community where you're getting value, you're getting tools to live the life that you deserve, that you desire, but also community support.
Mhm.
Because I can put together, it's just important to have that support. So we've curated both, but I would love to see everybody, well, not everybody, 30 people, 30 people with us February the 1st to the 4th. And then after that, we'll definitely be connecting on a monthly, for those that want to be a part of the membership. But yeah, that's what we're working with. So the price for the workshop is gonna go up because it's just a lot of value, a lot of energy exchange, and we were being really generous because we wanted to make it accessible. But it is gonna go up because you'll get a return on your investment, period. And we're sharing a lot, and you get the recording and everything like that. So
Mhm.
um, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
does it?
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it because I just love being in a community, right? And I love the energy exchange, and I love, getting different perspectives, from different people and their creativity and like, what they're passionate about, because there are a lot of gifted people out here in this world, right? And like I said on the live the other day, like we want to be empty when we leave here. We want to leave here having blessed people with our gifts and talents and made their life better, right? And be of service to them in whatever capacity that looks like, whether it's coaching, whether it's products, whether it's, you know what I mean? Like, regardless of what it is, we all have something to give, right? So I'm really excited to hear the creativity. I'm excited about being able to help people break through those barriers, that's been blocking them, releasing those things so that everybody can flourish. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we want everybody to make it. This is not, well, maybe 10 out of the 30. No,
Right.
everybody, right? Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about it. I really am.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
groups. That's my thing. That you can ask her, ask Dominique, like that is my thing. Put me in a group.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. And that's what ultimately inspired this 4-day workshop. Like, remember, we were going to do self-paced. We were going to do everything, do it yourself, do it yourself. But we love groups so much. And we're like, no, like, yeah, you can do it yourself, but you always need an accountability partner. And the group setting is just so powerful.
Hmm.
So we'll be able to really, really, really connect. And I'm excited too, Mama. I really am. And
Yeah.
like the time is flying. Like we were just talking about this 30 days ago, and now it's 10
Yep.
days. 10 days, or not 10 days, but 11 days until the
11 days before, and is 10 days before I get there. I'm
yeah.
counting down too.
Yes. But I love you, Mom, and I appreciate the support. And anyone that's on here that is looking for support, like she's my mother, but you know, if you want to connect with her one on one, the option is available to do that. You can connect with her, let loose, cry, whatever it is. She's been my rock, my foundation. I told you this one and her have been like my lifeline the last couple of months, and we all need that. And I'm grateful for this very I don't even have the word for it, like very treacherous experience, because it showed me like, dang, like people really be going through stuff. You know, like, oh, it's not
Hmm.
always like butterflies and roses. And it gave me firsthand experience to see like women get mistreated during pregnancy. Women get mistreated in general. Women aren't respected. Women aren't treated. And I never had like an experience to this level like that before. Like I've had my fair share of my fair share of very uncomfortable interactions. But this was a little bit different for me. Um, yeah, just in general, like processing some stuff.
Hmm.
So, it's levels to this, and everybody, I say that to say we all need support. So,
That's it.
join our workshop or join the membership is not 100, it's not open for enrollment yet, because we want to give everyone in the workshop priority, because the membership will also be capped. So we want to make sure that the people in the 4-day workshop get priority. So anyone that wants to join will go ahead and use that, and then we'll open up for everyone else. But the membership is capped because we want to like not be depleted, we want to help.
Right.
But we will not make that available until after the workshop, and everyone that's in the workshop will get access, a special access to that community, and we'll talk about that in the workshop.
Yep.
So I didn't really see questions popping up. Somebody said mom gives off a beautiful and genuine energy. Yes, Jessica, it's real. What you see right here is what you see offline.
Yep.
It's just what you see. What you see is what you get,
For
and
sure.
it's real. Um,
For sure.
yeah. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, no, I think we pretty much covered, as far as what we're going to be offering. It's going to be great. Because what you guys don't realize, guys and girls, you know, when we help each other, when we're helping, it helps us too,
Mm-hmm.
right? So being of service, being of help to someone, the spiritual rewards that come from that is something that you can't really describe. And I say that because Dom was talking about, how I was afraid of how people were going to look at me, but I was able to create an organization, a nonprofit organization for women and women with children that were struggling with addiction. And as I said, it was a nonprofit. However, even though I didn't make a whole lot of money doing that, the spiritual rewards of being around women that trusted me, women that were healing, reuniting families. Like you can't put a price on that.
Mm-mm.
So, being able to show up for each other and help each other is like that's like the biggest gem right there.
Yeah.
The relationships that are established, like I still have relationships with those women, the relationships that are cultivated through these types of interactions. So it's just building the tribe.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah. Yep. It was such a journey, like such a beautiful experience to watch you change so many strangers' lives with their children and watch them reunite with their children.
Yeah.
And full circle, like just recreating that, but it looks different. It's amazing.
Yeah, because everybody's recovering from something, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be drugs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand addiction, but I also understand recovering from a whole lot of other stuff.
Oh, yeah. That right there. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for hopping on, tuning in. We will save this, so feel free to share it with whoever you feel it
Yes.
could resonate with. And we've had a lot of conversations, my mother and I, about hopping on here daily to go live. Like, what do y'all think about that? Is that something that you would tune into? Would you hop on our lives every day, or you ain't got time for that? Or do you think it would be beneficial? Drop a yes in the chat if you think we should go live more often and talk about stuff. And if there's any topics that you would like for us to cover, also put that in the chat. Let us know what are some things you want to talk about, and if these lives are worth it. You want to say
Yes.
hey? Everybody say
Yeah.
hello. Hey, hola. Tell them what word you learned today. How do you say water in Spanish? Agua. Okay. She learned some Spanish words today, and she was speaking them. Yes, I'm seeing some yeses. I'll be there. Appreciate you both. Yes. Are there any particular topics you would want to discuss? More business related, more personal related, more relationship related. My mama knows a lot about attachment styles.
And even addiction, you know, addiction, or, one of the things that I've also realized and noticed, like one out of 10 people in a room have been affected either directly or indirectly
Mm-hmm.
by drug addiction, whether it's a loved one, a family member,
Mm-hmm.
or a close friend. And sometimes it's hard to understand how to navigate through that and not be supportive and not an enabler, and just the feelings. So that topic is definitely not off limits, and I know it can be a very sensitive topic for some. However, it's definitely something that where people need to feel supported in that too, because addiction is not a moral deficiency, right? It's not you're just this really bad person. It goes a little bit deeper than that, and I'll just leave it at that.
And the last comment said there too, when it comes to addiction recovery, like relationships between women in the tribe, how to build a sisterhood, because you do have to overcome a lot of different things, not just addiction. But I'm seeing the request in here: single motherhood, how to build a tribe, healthcare, a mixture. I'm seeing this feedback, and we'll do this if that is something that, because this is a community, believe it or not. Us in the
Mm-hmm.
chat on this live. So, okay, we'll take notes and come up with some. We'll do this. Mm-hmm. So, dual citizenship. These are great topics.
Mm-hmm.
Great topics. Okay, and we have so much to share. But I think we've been on for about an hour now, so we're gonna wrap up. Like I said, this will be saved. Mama's information is in the bio, in the description, and if you'll see it'll show up on both pages, I believe. Um, but we wish you all an amazing night.
Yeah,
Thank you for hopping on.
absolutely. Thank you for sharing space with us.
Yes.
Saturday night. I know there's a lot of things y'all have been doing.
Say night. Everybody have a great night. Say love you, Omi. Love you.
I love you too, girl.
All right, Mama.
All right.
I'll see you. Hop
Okay.
on with you in a second. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.